Hello you beautiful people, episode 52 of our Blackburn Rovers Football Manager 2017 save. Last time out, we of course just about got over the line against Olympique Lyon on aggregate, where we booked ourselves a place in the Europa League quarterfinals. And we got drawn against Athletic Bilbao, whatever the hell they're called. 1-2-1 against Aston Villa. 2 Carlos Salena free kicks, so quite fortunate to get that win really, but considering we were down to 10 men for the majority of the game, a win's a win, right? Then we lost 3-0 to Liverpool. Now Liverpool, one of my bogey teams, we somehow beat them 4-0 earlier on in the season. That was really satisfying, but they have really begun their late surge. Even though they are the defending champions, they're obviously not going to defend their title, but they have begun their surge back into the top 5, and now there's quite an interesting fight going on between Liverpool, Man City, Stoke, and maybe Everton could creep in there come the end of the season and trying to fight over that last Europa League spot. But with 10 points between us and Liverpool, I think it's somewhat safe to say that we booked ourselves a place in the Champions League, or we very well might do very, very soon. Unfortunately, that loss to Liverpool does mean that Tottenham managed to basically jump ahead of us by beating Crystal Palace 3-0. But the truth be told is this is going to go down all the way till the end of the season. For some reason, the press keep talking to me about whether I think we can win the Premier League, and to be honest, with a 10-point gap between us and Man United, in fact a 6-point gap this late on in the season between us and Arsenal, I think the only fight we've really got in the Premier League is trying to basically finish third and stop Spurs getting third place. But the truth be told, I'm really not that fussed whether we finish third or fourth, as long as we finish at least fourth. My main concern at the moment is the Europa League. Apparently in baskets, Bilbao Athletic Cluba. So yeah, obviously for people who don't know, I think one of Athletic Bilbao's philosophies is that only Basque players can play for him, and obviously Basque people are people from a certain part of Spain. Against Olympique Lyon, 2 out of their 3 goals were penalties, so let's hope we don't get a repeat of that. Penalties that shouldn't have been penalties, by the way. In between the 2 legs, which we'll see in this episode, we will have a game at home in the Premier League against West Brom, so I'll just go with what we normally do. Play the first leg, I'll then go off play against West Brom, let you guys know what happens against West Brom, and then we can watch the second leg. But we're at home for the first leg, really want a positive result. On the injury front, still not looking great. Lucas Moura is slowly but surely getting there. He's got about 3 weeks left until he's back fit, you know, in training at least. Augustinson still been gone for a while. He's still got 10 weeks to go. I'm not really sure we're going to see him again this season. As for Nano, yeah, out for 3 to 4 months. So we might not see Nano until next season. And to be fair, when he does get back, he might not even be the same player. So we'll have to wait and see. But regardless of what happens, it is going to be a big summer for us. Fabio is suspended. We have been playing the past few Premier League games with Callas as our right back, which ain't really great. And I think that's kind of an element that cost us against Liverpool, because away from home, we put a lot of emphasis on our fullbacks getting forward and basically playing crosses into the box. And with Callas, he doesn't really have the crossing ability to be able to do that. And Varela out on the left is kind of right-footed, so that made life a little bit more difficult as well. But forget about the past. Let's focus on the future and see if we can beat Athletic Bilbao. Starting lineup-wise, as we can see, Athletic Bilbao have gone with a 4-2-3-1. Quite a lot of familiar names here. I like how their keeper's called Keeper. But yeah, they've got Iker Muniain up front, a very pacey player. Technically, probably didn't develop as well as a lot of people thought he would. Known really for playing out on the left in real life, but he's going to be playing up front on his own, so he's without a shadow of a doubt going to be looking to try and exploit any slow pace we have at the back, which definitely is prominent in Bath and Dumic, hence why we won't really look to play with a high line. They've got Santa Maria playing as the playmaker just off Muniain, who looks like a tasty regen actually. Wow. Watch him score against us now. Hervias out on the left, so Sayeta out on the right, just 2 out-and-out wingers. And then we've got Benyat and Herrera, 2 very creative central midfielders. This is where I'm kind of hoping that the fact that we've got 3 in midfield and Tiote is really quite physical. We've added an opposition instruction, try and go hard on Herrera, because he kind of is, I feel like if you can shut down a player like Herrera, it'll allow us to really overrun the midfield, and it will stop the distribution going towards the front four from such a key player for them. Monreal isn't getting any younger. 34 years of age, 11 acceleration, 11 pace. So Niang out on the right wing is definitely something that we're going to have to look to exploit. Going into the second half, it seems like we're not exploiting it enough. Piaka will be swapped over to the right-hand side, moved a little bit wider, kind of like what we did against AC Milan in the group stages, if any of you guys remember that. And the reason why I do that is, even though Niang's slightly faster than Piaka, Piaka has better crossing, so really if you've got a wide player that's bombing forward, you want him to be able to get balls into the box. It's a shame we don't actually have Fabio. Actually something we could do in the second half, where we could try and take a gamble, move Callas to left back and just leave him on defend, move Varela to his favoured right back and get him bombing forward as well, to basically just cause Monreal loads of problems. Centre back wise, they're both pretty solid. As for Oscar De Marcos, 30 years old, but still a lot better, I think, than his counterpart in Monreal. In terms of La Liga, I'm not quite sure how well they're doing, but I think the last time we checked, they were in the top 5. So either way, it's going to be a good game, guys. It's going to be a fun one to watch, but probably not a fun one to manage. Okay, here we go. So team instruction wise, again, same old as what we do at home. We're going to really look to try and hold onto the ball as well as we can, and basically just aim to win the game. That way we go into the away leg with a result under our belt. What's really important for us, and Bilbao will probably score the second I say this, is that we don't give them an away goal. But as always, easier said than done. And yeah, one thing oh god, I thought he was going to chip the goalkeeper then. But yeah, one thing that's really, I think, been a kick up the bum recently is Fabio's suspensions and the odd injury that we've got here and there, like Augustinson and so on. People that have been watching the series for... Ooh, I should have really finished that. People that have been watching the series for a while will know that I like to put a lot of emphasis on my fullbacks going forward. I think they're an important part of how football, in the modern game at least, should really be played. Alenya shoots. Oh, good save. But Danny Bath is apparently offside. Right, okay then. So, for 15-20 minutes in, it seems like quite an even game. But can we apply pressure from the front now? In terms of the match stats, it does seem like Bilbao have had more shots and more shots on target than we have. They are a good side. But let's see how things go. So Niang picks up the ball, is going to play it forward to Piaka, has his second chance. It's another good save from the keeper called Keeper, and we're definitely knocking on the door. That's 2 clear-cut chances now that Piaka has actually put to waste. So Herrera is going to find Benyat. This is dangerous. Munayin cuts inside, shoots, oh, hits the woodwork. Good shot there from Munayin, but that's what he can do. He's a nice little technical player. Carlos Alenya on a 6.5, so looks like he's rooting for his Spanish comrades here. Would like to see us start getting a little bit more stuck in the midfield, but to be fair, we're getting stuck in as much as we already can. You can see De Marcos is coming in a little bit more narrower. That allows Societa to play the ball inside, and this is creating space, and we're in trouble. But it's a good save from Rajkovic. Right, starting to spot some warning signs, I'd say. So for that reason, I'm going to go a little bit more narrower just to try and match them. In terms of closing down, we're going to try to close down a little bit more and start trying to use the offside trap. See, I mean, we've got quite 2 slow centre-backs, but I think we'll be okay in terms of trying to use the offside trap just to see us out to the second half. And we're going to also look to try and retain possession and just build things up from that point onwards. Be really disappointed to concede a corner to a bloody Spanish team. There we go. Danny Bath gets rid, and it's actually a chance for us to counter-attack. Niang picks it up out on the right-hand side. Should be able to take on Monreal, but it's a really poor ball. You know it's a poor ball when bloody Herrera wins it in the air. 1 minute added on. Tiote is going to find Karam Demirbay. Important not to lose it here. He finds Niang. Back to Callas, who it's kind of scary seeing a centre-back playing so far forward. Alenya to Niang. Oh my god, keeper is playing phenomenal today. Third clear-cut chance, and we've not managed to stick in the back of the net. Danny Bath now with the head, and it does seem like we're going to be going in at half-time at 0-0. And so Callas is now basically just going to become a defensive fullback, whilst Varela is going to become our fullback on attack to give us a little bit more infiltration down this right-hand side, try and, you know, take advantage of Monreal. For that reason, Andre moves over here too. So this left-hand side is a little bit exposed, I'd say, but yeah, we'll wait and see what happens because Callas is on defensive, so he shouldn't really be bombing forward too much. Plus the back four still have the protection of Tiote. We're going to look to exploit the right flank, go with more of a mixed passing directness, which hopefully will kind of encourage crosses into the box, increase our width again, and yeah, let's see what happens. I do, of course, still have to be wary that too many changes can sometimes, you know, disrupt what you're trying to do. So we'll have to keep an eye on things. Doesn't really seem like we've exactly shown up yet in this second half. Piaka on 71% isn't really looking good, which is a shame because he is, it has to be said, he is a key player for us, but he is going to have to come off. Question is, who are we going to swap him with? I think it's going to have to be Marco Rog. Alenya on a yellow card, not having the best game. That's the thing about Alenya. He's hot and cold sometimes. Phenomenal player on his day. He can win us a game on his own. He's been nominated for Young Player of the Season. But then again, when he's playing like this, it's very difficult to merit keeping him in the side. We'll bring on Marco Rog on his own for now and give it until the 65th minute. And then I've got an idea. What we're actually going to do is Romeu's going to come on as a ball-winning midfielder. I'm kind of hoping that extra bit of oomph that he gives us as a ball-winning midfielder, extra bit of physicality in midfield will help us retain possession that little bit better in terms of, with, you know, 25 minutes to go, making sure that Bilbao can't really get the ball to play their game. That's how they really want to play. Kind of want to bring Nigel on. I don't want to bring Gillas on. He's a twat. I am kind of wary of the fact that we've not actually had that many opportunities, so we are going to switch to a slightly more positive mentality too. In terms of width, we're going to go back down to narrow from fairly narrow, because fairly narrow on counter is more like narrow on standard. We're going to reduce the closing down again back to what we prefer. I'm going to get rid of look for overlap, because that can sometimes slow down the transition from defence to attack, because it makes midfielders, rather than passing the ball forward, wait for someone overlapping out wide. But okay, so yep, we're going to go with this. In fact, I'm actually going to swap these guys around. It makes more sense for Karam Demirbay to shoot more often, dribble less, to be on the left hand side, simply because he's left footed. Just disappointing, because particularly in the first half, we made the chances. Monreal now. This is a chance for us to counter, you know. Monreal bombing forward. Gray's going to play the ball forward. Rog with loads of acceleration and pace, looking to turn defence into attack. If there's anyone I want on this ball, it's Demirbay. Should have played that ball through, and that would have been 1-0, regardless of how over bloody powered their keeper called keeper is. But it is looking likely that we are going to be going to Spain with only a 0-0 draw. Underwhelming. Really wanted to win the game. But it is what it is. You know, we can't go back and change the past. I think we tried to change the game, but in the end, even though when you look at the stats, Bilbao looked like they did alright, I can't actually remember seeing too many key highlights from them. Passes completed, they were probably a little bit better on the ball than us, but you expect that with Spanish teams because it's how they play. But really, I think we are a counter-attacking side, and you know, we play with a lot of pace and power, and it could suit us away from home. Positively speaking, we've not given them an away goal, so even if we go to their place and draw 1-1, that'll be enough for us to get through, because in a way, as long as we don't lose the game, whatever goal we score will almost be worth 2 goals. So, yeah, I don't think it's too bad, but it would be nice to have gone into the second leg with the lead. And apparently Rajkovic has set a new Blackburn record with 18 clean sheets. So well done, Rajkovic. I guess he's, like I said, I think in the last episode or a few episodes ago, I've been clinical of him, but he's certainly proven me wrong. But yeah, I'll see you guys for the second leg of Atletico Bilbao. Okay, welcome back. It's leg 2, and just to clarify, as far as the West Brom game was concerned, we just about won that game 1-0. We did end up giving away a penalty. Surprise, surprise, Dario Dumic again. And it was one of them free kick crosses into the box. Nothing happens, penalties. Fortunately for us, Rajkovic saved it. I don't know why these penalties are now a thing, but yeah. So just before we jump straight in, obviously we have kicked off. Bilbao have changed things around a little bit. Munayin now actually moves to the wing, where he'll probably be playing as an inside forward. And Raul Garcia will be playing up front on his own. Very good technically, but physically not really that fast. So that could actually be quite a positive thing for our 2 centre-backs, even though Callas is now playing centre-back again, and he has quite a lot of pace on him. So Fabio comes back into the side. Kerem Demirbay actually got injured against West Brom, which isn't a surprise considering that Tony Pulis' side's kind of murdy on the pitch. So he's now out for, I think it's like 4 to 6 weeks with a torn groin or something along them lines. So it's come at a bad time, but obviously my luck with injuries is always dreadful. Merino replaces Benyat in midfield for Athletic Bilbao. And I think they have brought in Yeray into the side at centre-back, and not a lot of pace on him, so I'm without a shadow of a doubt expecting these guys to wreak havoc on the counter-attack. We've gone with fullbacks, of course, playing slightly wider than we do at home, and we'll basically see where it takes us. I'm really kind of expecting Bilbao here to hold on to the ball quite a lot. 5 minutes in, it's time for the good old team talk. You can see how well they keep the ball. It's very similar to what we've seen in the first leg, and that's why it's important that we can pull off tackles like that to spring our own counter-attacks. Nyang beats a centre-back, beats the keeper, and makes it 1-0. Get in there early on, 6 minutes in, and Nyang has found the all-important away goal that we've been needing for quite some time. Credit where it's due to Piaka. I think he's been our player of the season so far, if I'm fully honest. It would have to probably be between him and maybe Andre Gray. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, God. I don't like these key highlights straight after kickoff. But, yeah, he was the lad that pulled off the tackle, which allowed us to give the ball to Alenya, our creative centre mid, and find the pass for the counter-attack. And what a pass it was. Bilbao playing pretty much a normal defensive line, not too high, which you kind of expect given the lack of pace they've currently got. But it does really work really well like this, because Nyang is through again. Has to score. Oh, no. Could have put the game to bed there with 2 Nyang goals in basically the same minute. But, it just goes to show that what I mentioned, looking at the starting lineups, that the slower centre-backs have come in. This is going to be offside. Oh, God, what's that? That the slower centre-backs coming in were going to be good for players like Nyang and Piaka. That's, oh no, certainly what we've seen so far. Munayin now, on the wing, whips the ball in. That is bollocks. Guys, can you guys actually remember the last time we conceded a genuine goal on Football Manager that wasn't a stupid penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty, or Varela kicking the ball straight at Munayin like that? And it's their first shot on goal as well. Alenya's going to score this free kick, though, so it's all good. And we've got the lead again. Oh, God. Why do I even play this game? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know why I play this game. I'm looking at the QA team for Football Manager here. How often do you actually see a player and they've got a highlight from the kickoff again? I hope this is us. This is worrying now. This is worrying. Because Hervias has actually got the better of... Oh, really good head there from Dumic. But we can counter. Gray Can he see that run from Niang? Piaka certainly can. Niang shoots. It's just wide. We're absolutely clinical on the counter-attack in terms of creating the counter-attack. It's just that finishing that we're not clinical with, and it just makes you wonder if we had bloody, our massive signing of the summer, Lucas Moura, we'd probably be more than 2-1 in the lead. I'm not really happy with the amount of leeway that that lad down the left is getting. Piaka should really be man-marking him. Hervias, that's him. But obviously, as we know, Piaka's not exactly the most defensively minded player, but he's kind of a player we're willing to, there we go, 5 marking, but he's kind of a player we're willing to sacrifice because of how good he is going forward. But, yes, okay, so can we make any changes to Varela? Not really, to be honest. I'll tell him to hold his position, and it doesn't mean he won't get forward, it just means he'll get forward a little bit less, which should give us an extra bit of defensive cover down that side, which is where most of Bilbao's attacks really have been coming from. Marco Rog, somewhat slightly underwhelming, but generally speaking, I think we're okay with sticking with how things currently are. We've got the away goal, we've got the lead, so even if Bilbao make it 2-2, it's still us going through. I actually really like these double episodes. They're a pain in the backside to edit because they take quite a long time, but it's quite nice, having one episode dedicated to 2 legs. Hopefully you guys like it. I really enjoy doing them. I think this save now is really starting to get interesting. Oh, go on, lad. Oh! Flipping heck. But yeah, I think this save is really starting to get interesting. We've guaranteed at least a Europa League spot for next season, and I think we will turn it into a Champions League spot without a shadow of a doubt. I'm just really wondering whether or not... What was that? That was dreadful from Andre Gray. But yeah, I am really kind of wondering whether or not we can even win the Europa League this season. I think we've been really, really good in the air defensively. We've been winning the ball great. Andre seems asleep. Good ball there to Piaka nonetheless. Oh, that's got to be red. Got to be red. There we go. And that should really get us 3 points or get us through to the Europa League semi-final. Look at these two marching on. Elenya on a 9. This is what I mean. Like, you look at the first leg, he was terrible. And then you got this one. He scores a free kick. He gets an assist and he's on a 9. Nigel will come on for Marco Rog. Give him some play time. And in terms of any other substitutions, I'd probably bring James McLean on because he's kind of asked for more time with the first team. But what I am actually going to do is bring on Danny Bath alongside Dario Dumic, simply because Danny Bath has quite a high leadership attribute, which I think is quite an important thing at a time like this, where you need, a leader, a Richard the Lionheart on the pitch, just to make sure, as a team, you keep your shit together, basically. So Gillas, Niang, go on, sweaty goal. Oh, he went for the shot. But look at the stats. We've completely dominated this second leg. And I did say at the end of the first leg that it could end up suiting us playing away from home, given our attacking style of play. And the fact that Bilbao would really be looking to sit back a little bit less. And to be fair, we've just had so much of the ball. And we've been so good in the tackle. And our central players have showed up. And to be fair, I think that slow centre-back on Bilbao's side that they didn't have in the first leg certainly helped us grab that early goal and give us a momentum that we've been really good. Hopefully we can get yet another goal and just add insult to injury. Look at how many players we've still got bombing forward. Can Nigel get an assist? Elenya says, yes, you can. Nigel subbed straight on in the Europa League, gets an assist, and what a talisman he's slowly developing into. I really want him to start getting involved a little bit more with the first team. He's gotten quite a lot of appearances off the bench. Good finish there from Elenya. He's just saying, calm down, boys. Ronaldo-esque. I'm Carlos Elenya. And there we go. Referee blows for full time. And ladies and gents, we are in the Europa League semi-final. I'm very happy with the result and the way you played. Elenya on a 9.4, which is phenomenal. What a player. I can't believe we signed him for 2.5 million. Unbelievable. Europa League. So, Celtic, of course, they won the first leg 3-0, didn't they? But Bordeaux did mount a comeback, or 3-1, but they did mount a comeback. They won the second leg 3-2, but it wasn't enough, and Celtic are going to be heading into the Europa League finals Um, Semi-finals, sorry, with a 5-4 victory. We, of course, won 3-1. Milan struggled against Leipzig, but it seems like they just about managed to get the win, which is kind of bad news for us because we really struggled against Milan earlier on in the season, and Porto beat Ajax 2-0. So it'll be really interesting to see who we get. I've got this really awkward, funny feeling that we're going to get Celtic, we're going to beat Celtic, and then we're going to end up facing AC Milan in the final, and we're going to lose to AC Milan. And I think someone in the comments mentioned that they could become our bogey team in Europe, but what an amazing Europa League it would be if after everything they did to us in the group stages, we managed to beat them in the final. They are, though, competing for top place in Serie A, so it's safe to say in terms of the league, they're a bit busier than we are. We've got quite a lot of breathing space, and this is why I'm putting so much focus on the Europa League, because I can afford to rotate players in the Premier League, because even if we do drop points in the Premier League, it won't really make that much of a difference whether or not we can finish third in terms of us versus Spurs. And in terms of the number of Premier League games left, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left, so it's really going to take something special for Liverpool to catch up with us. So automatic draw. Please give us Celtic. I just really want Celtic. I've wanted Celtic ever since the second round. Yes, we're going to get Celtic. Awesome. So, I mean, in a way, that could mean a Blackburn AC Milan grand final. But let's focus on beating Celtic first. Steve Clarke is, of course, their manager. They're first in the Scottish Premiership. 77 points. I'm really surprised that they've made it this far in the first place, to be honest. But credit where it's due to them. They're getting the results. But when I compare our side to theirs, I think we should be able to take them. I really do. I mean, Griffiths is an alright player, a bit of a Football Manager legend, to be honest. I remember like FM12 where he used to turn into Messi, but I don't really think, other than his pace, he's going to cause us too many problems. Scott Sinclair, good player, a lot of pace on him, but you compare these players individually to our players, and we should be beating a team like Celtic. So, who knows, that might book our place in the Europa League final. So, it's a tough one. But, because of what's happening in the Europa League, I think what we're going to do is... I don't know what we're going to do. I'll tell you what. You guys let me know in the comments what you want me to do. I mean, I'm just thinking, is there any point in doing a single episode for the Man City game? The Spurs game might be an interesting one, so if we do first leg is a single episode, Spurs is a single episode, then Celtic is a simple episode again. Simple, single episode, that could be pretty interesting. And the reason why I mentioned Spurs, of course, is because we are kind of fighting over third place. I don't know, but what a magnificent end to the season. Let me know what you guys prefer. I'll make sure that I don't, obviously, play these games before getting the videos out. But... until next time, if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.